Now we will do 7th class state Cbse and Icse inverse proportion. Today we will finish off all the three direct and inverse proportion, and then we will be moving to next class. Okay, 1200 men. The other day we were disconnected while doing one problem, so I will continue from there. 1200 men 1200 men can finish work in 35 days. This is a problem. Which problem? Yes, 1200 men can finish the problem in can finish a stock of food in 35 days. 1200 men can finish a stock of food 35 days. So he is asking how many more men should join them so that the same stock may last for 25 days. Now for 35 days the food sufficient is for how many men? The stock of food sufficient is 1200 men. For 35 days you can write for 35 days food available is equal to, for 35 days food available for 1200 men. Now for one day, 7th, this is Cbse state and Icse. For 35 days food available is 1200 men. For one day, tell me now, for 35 days only this much. For one day more food is available now. For one day 1200 into 35 men. What I am saying is, for 35 days 200 men, 35 days 200 men can eat. For one day more men will eat. 35 days, you can see this box also, days men, 35 days 100 200. Now one day means more number of men can be joined. Now 35 days available for 200 means for 35 days they can eat for 1200 men. Now for one day is 1200 into 35. Why we have to do? Because for one day more number of men can be eaten. Now for how many days is asking now? For 25 days. For 25 days. For 25 days, for one day only this much men means more men. So for 25 days, because days are increasing, so number of men will be, days are increasing, number of men food sufficient will be decreased, no? So what I am saying is, for one day these many men. This is for 35 days 1200 men. For one day more number of men can be eaten for one day. Next, for 25 days, for 25 days is for one day this much. For 25 days 25 days means I think we can men will be reduced because food sufficient will be reduced, so you have to divide. Next, 5 7 is 35, 5 5 is 25, 5 1 is 5, 5 2 is 10, 5 4 is 20, 0, 7 4 is 28, So here cancellation 700, so 1680 men. See here for 25 days, here for 35 days 1200 men can eat. For 25 days more men can be eaten now. So this is how you have to do the problem. Once again I will explain. Actually here what is given is food sufficient for 35 days is 1200 men. For 35 days 1200 men can eat like that. For one day means more men. Why more men? Because food available will be more, no, for one day. For 35 days food available is 1200 men. For one day food will be available for more men. So that's why you have to multiply. Now for 25 days, compare this and this. For 25 days, what I am saying is, for one day more men can be eaten the food. Now for 25 days, now days are, what do you say here? Days are increased from 1 to 5, from 1 to 25. That means food sufficient will be less, no, because the days are increasing, so food sufficient will be less. So that's why you have to divide by 25. Now for 25 days, that means 1680. So now you see here for one day food sufficient is these many men. So for one day food will be more sufficient, food will be more available. For 25 days, now as the number of days are increasing from 1 to 25, so food will be less food will be available. So that's how. This is unitary method. Let us do one more problem. Are you understanding what I am saying? So once again, let us, 1200 men can finish a food in 35 days. That means there are, you think that in your school there are 1200 students are there total from 1st to 10th, the food they will 35 days. Now for one day more number of people can be eaten the food. So here for 25 days, for one day these many, for 25 days. Now again compare this previous with this previous statement with this. For 25 days now the food available will be less. So he is asking, what is the question? How many more men should join them so that the stock may last for 25 days? How many more men have joined now? Actually 1200 men were there. Now 1680, 480 men. Therefore 480 men have joined. 480 men have joined. Men have joined so that the stock may be last for 25 days. Next question. In a hostel there are 50 girls. The food sufficient for is 40 days. If 30 more girls join the hostel, how long will these provisions last? Once again I will explain the question. In a hostel there are 50 girls are there, it seems, and the food available for them is 40 days. If 30 more girls join, how long will the provision last? Now for 50 girls, their food available is for 40 days. I will read the question. In a hostel of 50 girls, there are food provisions for 40 days. If 30 more girls join, the hostel, how long will this provision last? So the food uh, for 50 girls, you can simply write food available is how many days? 40 days. Now 50 girls are there, put 40 days for one girl. For one girl, food for 50 girls 40 days. For one girl, food available. For one girl, food available. Tell me, for one girl, she can eat for more number of days. For one girl, she can eat for no more number of days. So 40 into 50 days. Why this came? Because 50 from where it came? This 50. For one girl, food available is these many. Why? Because 50 girls 40 days, one girl she can eat for more number of days. Now if 30 more girls join the hostel, now 30 more girls join the hostel. Now already 50 were there. Now how many girls are there? 30 more girls have joined us. That means now girls are how many? 50 plus 30, that is 80. Now compare this. For 80 girls, food available. Now one girl only this much. Now girls are joined, more number of girls are joined. So that means if more number of girls are joined, the food will be less, no? Obviously, in your family, there suppose your mom prepared food for 4 members. Then some more members joined, or some relatives came to your house. So let us say 10 relatives came. So in that case, the food will be less only, no? So same in the case with this. Actually, 50 girls were there 40 days, so I am calculating for one day. So say take the example of your family only. If only you are there, or if only your mom prepared food for only one of you, then you can eat more number of days, no? So here more one family is there, one member, more days. Now say more number of relatives came to your house, so the food will be lasting less. So what you have to do here? 40 by 50 by 80. 41 the 40, 42 the 41 the 42 the 2 1 the 2 25 the 25 days. So for 50 girls, so what is the meaning? For 50 girls, the food, how long will the provision last? The provision lasts for only 25 days. Whereas for 50 girls, 40 days. Next question. 55 cows can graze a field in 16 days. 55 cows can graze a field. 55 cows can graze a field in 16 days. 55 cows can graze a field in 16 days. How many cows will graze the same field in 10 days? Here, simple students, 16 days. How many cows can graze the field in 10 days is asking. So for how many cows can graze the field in 10 days? So you need to convert this for 16 days. For 16 days, cows can graze is equal to how many cows? 55 cows. For 16 days, cows can graze is equal to cow 55. Next, for 1 day, so 16 days, how many cows? 55 cows are there. Now for only 1 day, so for 1 day, you require for 1 day only the whole thing should be grazed. So what you have to do for 1 day, more number of cows can be grazed. No, for 1 day only you have to do, the cows can graze 55 cows can graze in 60 days. For 1 day, more number of cows required, that is 55 into 16, because for 1 day you require more number of cows now to in order to graze the field. So for 1 day, more number of cows are required. Next, for 10 days, for 10 days, now tell me, for 1 day you require more number of, now the days are more now, so obviously cows, you require less cows to graze the field. For 10 days, less cows are required to graze the field. So that is 55 into 16. When you get less, when you divide only, divide by what? 10. Next, 2 8 the 16, 2 5 the 10. 5 1 the 5, 5 1 the 5, 5 88. 88 cows. For 10 days, I don't know, see here, for 55 cows, for 55 cows can graze in 16 days. For 10 days, 88 cows. See here. Now here 55 cows are there, 16 days. Now 10 days, less days are there. You require more number of cows. So that's how you should do the problem. Simple. Once again I will repeat the question. 16 days, 55 cows are there. For only 1 day, you require means 1 day means you have to complete the whole work that cows can graze in 55 into 16 days. For 1 cows. So for 1 day you require more number of cows. For 10 days, now the days are more, so require less cows. So 15, like this you should do the problems. Next one. "18 men can reap a field in 35 days. 18 men can reap a field in 35 days. For reaping the same field in 15 days, how many men are required?" Again, same question, same thing. 18 men can reap a field in, now instead of cows, they are given man. 18 men can reap a field in how many days? 18 men can reap a field is equal to 35 days. 18 men, how many days he will take to reap the field? 35 days. For reaping the same field in 15 days, how many men? 15 days. Number of men? Question mark. So here for 15 days, number of men? Question mark. Simple. Again here, here 15 days is there, so that means concentrate on days. So 35 days, number of men is equal to 18. So for 35 days, how many men are required? 18 men are required. For 35 days, number of men is equal to 18. For one day, within one day only, you will, for one day, in order to reap the field, you will require more men or less men? For one day. So obviously it will be more, because in one day only the owner has said to finish the work within one day. So we require more number. For one day, number of men is equal to 18 into what? This 35. From where this 35 came? This only. For one day, for 35 days, 18 men. Only for one day, you require more. So you have to multiply. Now for one day, or for how many days they are asking? 15 days. 15 days. For 15 days. So now days are increasing. Compare this. Now the days are increasing means what? Number of men will be less, because days, as the days are increasing, for one day only, or you can compare this, for one day only this man, for 15 days, number of men is equal to 18 into 35. Here you will multiply or divide, tell me. One day only this much. Now 15 days are there. 15 days are there means what? Number of men will be less. Why less? Because for one day only these many men required. For 15 days, as the number of days are increasing from one to way, number of men will be reduced. Reduced by what here? 15. 5 3s are 15, 5 7 are 3 6 are 18, 6 7 are 42. So now for 15 days, number of men is equal to 42. You see here, 18 35. Now 15 42. 18 men 35 days. Now see, 15 men are decreased from 18 to 50. So number of days will be increased. Right? Did you understand the question properly? 18 men can reap a field in 35 days. I have calculated for one day. For one day, you require more number of men, because in order to finish the work. So I multiplied. Now for 15 days, compare this with this. For one day only this much. Now the days are increased. So if the days are increased means you require less number of men. So more days are there, you require less men. So divide. So this is the unitary method. Next. So you have any doubt? Do you have any doubts in this? Always you have to calculate for one day how many men. Days and men you remember in mind. Days, one day more men. Now days are more. You require less men to finish the work. From 1 to 15 days have increased. So if the days have increased, you require less men. So 42 men. So thank you students. Have a nice day. And we'll meet in the next class and finish off the remaining problems. Bye.